So hey guys, welcome to the Warframe video, and as you may or may not know, the next update, Abyss of Dagath, is gonna change many things, and one of those things are pets. They're finally making all pets immortal, essentially. So let us go through the pet rework workshop and see what this is all about. Up first, we have sort of the high-level objectives for the companion rework. So those are, number 1, make pets more viable in high-level gameplay by making them immortal. Pets can no longer die. This avoids frustrating scenarios where you're relying on your pet to provide some feature or bonus, only to have them get removed from play. The base stats of pets have also been increased significantly to help them in difficult missions. Number 2, introduce more interactive mods that offer ways to play alongside your pet instead of it being mostly autonomous like a Spectre. And finally, number 3, changes to many pet mods, mostly to support the first two goals of removing dead states and improving basic survivability. Some mods were inconsistent in their naming or stats, and we have improved this. We have rebalanced some mods that players felt were not good enough, or ones that we've observed are so good that they were considered essential. So those are the goals of this companion rework. Now let's check out how they're actually going to achieve this. First on the menu, we have the issue of pet immortality. This has been a problem for a very long time, and it's why most people don't run Sentinels once they get to a specific enemy level. The Sentinels just die way too fast, and it's better to run something like a Moa or a Dagath, which instead of exploding when its health reaches 0, is downed and you can revive it. Well, here's what they're doing about this. So Dagaths, Kubros, Moas and Predicites work in a very similar way still, so when their health reaches 0, they get downed and you can revive them. But if you fail to revive them, they will become incapacitated for 60 seconds and then auto-revive themselves. Sentinels cannot be manually revived, but instead of exploding when their health reaches 0, they will instead get damaged and fly alongside you as they slowly repair themselves. Then we have Vulpophilas, which already have a trick for this, so when they get down, they get turned into a Sentinel, so basically a larva, and then evolve back into the Vulpophila after a short while. And last but definitely not least, we have Kora's Venari, which already has sort of immortality because when it gets downed, it just reappears after a while, but you'll also now be able to spend some extra energy and cast the ability again to revive it instantly. This all seems pretty good, so let's move on to the pet stat changes, because pets are getting some pretty beefy buffs. This is pretty straightforward because all pets across the board have received pretty substantial health, shield and armor buffs. So Kubros, for example, instead of having 150 or 250 base health, will now sit at 560 to 940 base health. That is a substantial buff. This also introduced some variety when it comes to modding pets for defenses, because right now link mods just win basically every single time, unless you're running an extraordinarily squishy frame. So after this goes live, you might have to check your companions to see if the warframes that you're running have enough health, armor or shields to actually make link mods worth it. So yeah, in addition to the pets being immortal, they'll also be much harder to take down. Next on the menu, we have consistency in pet healing. This is actually something that I didn't know, so previously the mod Link Health could cause your companion to gain some of the healing that your Warframe did. This invisible feature was not indicated by the mod card, and it was never explained what forms of healing worked or why. Additionally, pets were using some of the same mechanics that things like mission objectives did, which limited the effects of some healing or defensive powers. We've decided to remove both of these obscure mechanics and restrictions. Companions will no longer gain health when your Warframe does if using certain health-absorbing powers together with the mod linked Vitality, which was formerly known as Link Health, and the restrictions of the following abilities and features as they apply to granting health, shields or damage resistance to pets have been removed. And they've listed Warding Halo, Blessing, Immolation, Blood Altar, Splinter Storm, Intrepid Stand, Eclipse, Discharge, Desolate Hands, Penance, Durable, Mend and Maim, Sancti Magistar and Protective Sling. The next section is quite extensive as it lists all the changes to existing companion mods. So, Calculated Redirection, Enhanced Vitality, and Metal Fiber now provide 250% increased shields, health, and armor respectively. This is actually a nerf to Calculated Redirection, but it's a buff for Vitality and Fiber. Regen has been changed completely, which makes sense because the Sentinels no longer die, so there is no need to revive them, and it instead shortens the incapacitation period of the Sentinel once it's destroyed by 20 seconds, and provides it with 6 seconds of invulnerability once it repairs itself, with primed regen bumping that up to 35 seconds. The sacrifice mod still allows your Sentinel to revive you, and it will just knock it into the incapacitation mode. However, it does add 15 extra seconds to the incapacitation timer. And then we have Repair Kit, which has been buffed, so instead of granting 6 health per second, it now gives 18 health per second. So those are all the Sentinel mods, and now let's move on to the companion mods. So Link Vitality, Redirection and Fiber will now provide a maximum of 125% shared health, shields and armor respectively. which is a nerf for vitality but a buff for redirection and fiber. Medipet kit has been changed, so it now provides 12 health per second and reduces the incapacitation time by 15 seconds. An accelerated deflection, which now provides shield recharge, will now also provide shield recharge delay, and it's been changed from being Sentinel exclusive to being able to be equipped on Moats and Hounds as well. And finally, we have some miscellaneous mods, starting off with Jin's Reawaken, which now shortens the incapacitation time by 6 seconds for every energy orb you pick up, and it also gives the Jin 300 overguard once it revives for every orb you collected. The healing on Pack Leader has been nerfed quite substantially, so instead of healing the companion for 36% of all the melee damage you inflict, it will now restore 50 health per melee hit. Though at least if the companion is on full health, you can grant it up to 600 overguard as well. And on the Prime version of Pack Leader, every hit will heal 92 health and the overguard is capped at 1100. Then we have Sentinel Sanctuary and Companion Shelter, which are mods that shield you when you're reviving someone, and the shield on this has been buffed from having 600 health to 1800 health. Self-Destruct has been changed to Knockout Blast, and it does basically the same thing, but instead of dealing blast damage when the Sentinel dies, it now does blast damage when the Sentinel is incapacitated. Loyal Companion has been changed completely. Previously, this provided a 90% bleed out lane, so your companion would bleed out slower. But now it will make your companion draw fire to itself for 30 seconds if your Warframe falls below 35% health with a 60-second cooldown. Then there is a change to the Parazon mod Hard Reset, which would previously instantly revive your pet if you got 3 mercy kills within 40 seconds, which will now shorten the pet's incapacitation time by 10 seconds for every mercy kill. Next up, we have a change to Fired Up, which will now grant the Sentinel 5% bonus heat damage on every weapon hit up to 100% and will reset if the Sentinel doesn't hit anything for 5 seconds. And the final change is to Spare Parts, which has been changed completely and renamed to Salvage Scanner. Previously made your Sentinel drop rare resources when it died, but now it will instead scan an enemy every 15 seconds for 5 seconds, and if you kill that enemy you will get more loot. This seems pretty good, especially if it stacks with other loot multiplication stuff. Now we unfortunately don't know anything about the new mods that are going to be introduced with this update as well, because, well, they haven't released anything yet, but I will definitely make a full video about that once they do release the new mods as well. So let's top it off with a nice bit of quality of life. So Sentinels will now avoid damage from Fire Eximus Explosion if you also avoid the damage by rolling through it. That is just nice. And that's pretty much it for the workshop, so let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I would like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support. And if you would like to become a channel member as well, by the way, you can check out the memberships and stuff down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.